Hey man, it's tomorrow's record day. It's D-Day.
Let me just say, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the complaints about what it looks like here. I don't want to hear any sound complaints. I have spent the last 3 days putting boxes onto U-Haul trucks and then taking them back off again, which just seemed insane to me. I mean, once you got a box into a perfectly good U-Haul truck, why would you ever remove it again?
Because there's no plumbing in the U-Haul truck.
There's marginal plumbing here. We do not yet have hot water at the new digs.
So this is new Hacienda Art.
It is. We now live in a lovely place near a road called El Dorado, which is which we have long fantasized about finding, and and actually there's no hot water, and yet I've taken 2 showers in the last 24 hours because I just couldn't go any longer without it.
It's good for your character.
My favorite little localism, when I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area, you call it the 101, you call it the 280, and then my personal favorite, the El Camino.
That's new to LA. When I was in Miami, it was I-95. Get on 95. Get on 475. But here it's the. I guess it's because there's so many of them. You get on the 405, take it to the 101. The 101, get off, and the 118 and 118 go west till you get to the.
Well, here it makes no sense because El Dorado is one word. Like I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be 2 words in El Español, right?
Something got lost in the translation, specifically the space between the 2 letters.
Well, and this is very exciting for us because we've got a busy broadcast week, as Rush Limbaugh likes to say, and in the new digs here, getting adjusted to the new surroundings. Stephen Green has inherited, by right of primogeniture, to do the members only.
Better that than by the right of prima nocta or whatever that's.
I'm going to reinstate prima nocta here. It's part of my official duties.
So go ahead, number one son.
All right, we were hashing this out a little bit during the pre-show, and the last thing I wanted to do was talk about another terror attack. But the frequency now of them hitting Europe and Britain in particular is news in and of itself. And I wanted to take a particular angle on this, that John Schindler is a former NSA spook, taught at the Naval War College. He's been on a horrible never Trump kick for the last few months, and I don't go to him for that kind of stuff. But when it comes to intelligence analysis, he's still one of the best guys out there. And he made the point today in a column for The Observer, which I think that's the magazine published by Jared Kushner. So this is really incestuous, I guess. But he made this great point in The Observer that what Britain faces today is no longer just sort of random foreign terror attacks, but it is really a homegrown insurgency, much like they faced for the best part of a century with the IRA. Except unlike the IRA, these guys get off killing civilians. When the IRA did it, it was, we went too far. Now these guys exist to murder Westerners, and they live right in the heart of every single one of Britain's great cities.
I have hope, though, Stephen, because I don't know if you heard that One Love Manchester concert that they just had with Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber and several other famous people whose names I should know. But, think about it this way. I mean, I'm sure they're not thinking about it this way. The Ariana Grande and her buddies are not thinking of it this way. But does ISIS want more pop concerts? I don't think so. But when you blow something up, we're gonna bring a frickin' rock concert to you, baby. We're gonna have a bunch of teens
rock the Casbah
singing with sexual innuendo, and you're done, brother.
That's all you need to know about the second decade of the 21st century. It's all you need to know.
Wow, we've gone.
Well, they don't like this. I think this will be effective. I mean, this is like pouring pig fat from the skies for them,
which I'm in favor of. All right. Anyway. Yeah.
So, Stephen, that's your general.
That's going to be for general public, I think.
You don't have to have a special box ticket to see that one.
I don't think so. And for members, have you seen this with CNN? It's been called CNN staging an Islamic protest in Britain, but it's they're not really staging, but they've got these protesters, and the CNN guys are like giving them direction. You've got to squish together. We need to get more of you in frame. Hold your signs
Make it
up.
look make it look more like there's more people here.
Yes, make it look impressive, make it look protesty. And so here you've got CNN making the news. And boy, do we need to talk about that. And not just this one CNN incident, but the broader aspect of it.
That goes way back. I mean, of course, you probably remember, Bill does. Steve doesn't because he was a babe. But in the Iranian Revolution, that way back with the Ayatollah Khomeini, I read stories back then where they would say there was no chanting or screaming or yelling going on out in the streets. There were basically people out there kind of hanging out in the streets until the cameras came on. And then when the cameras came on, all of a sudden the entertainment began. Now, in this particular clip, I saw it too, and here's the sense I got. The CNN had all these lights and cameras and personnel, and they had all this stuff set up already, but it wasn't convenient to where whatever was actually happening was. And so then they said to the Muslim people, they said, hey, would you mind coming over here rather than us going to you, and sort of clump up a little bit so we can get you in frame?
What if we gave a progressive social engineering event and nobody
came? Well, that would be all of them if it weren't for George Soros and pre-printed signs and all the rest, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Well, yeah, yes.
I'm going to make an executive decision in absence of anybody with more maturity than me here at the moment. I think we're going to make that particular members only public as well. I think that those both need to be told.
All right.
They're both really good
all
stories.
Right. That sounds great.
I just heard
think
our
members will appreciate
cheering.
that too.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Bill Whittle, who has he's off this week, but he's decided to show up anyway, and has only one episode to do. There's no other burden upon him. Another light week for Bill. What do you have planned for us, Bill?
Apparently, there's been an attack in London. I want to talk about this from a different angle. It'd be a nice way for me to introduce the fact that the good folks over at the NRA have given me my own show, which starts Wednesday.
Congratulations.
Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, 4 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday on the pop culture. I think it's called Hot Mike. In any event, I don't know who Hot Mike is, but apparently...
Bill?
I think Hot Mike is going to be basically working the board behind me, and he's...
That's the new PJM blog I helped launch a couple of months ago that I'm writing for every day. Well, there's only so many names.
So, but what I want to talk about is this. I want to say, look, for those of you progressives out there who don't like the fact that everybody in the country now is talking about being armed, and if you don't like the fact that London policemen are soon going to have to be carrying, assault rifles in public where they used to have batons, you have no one to blame but yourself. It's your policies towards crime that have made this country so violent and so lawless now that individual citizens have to strap on a six-shooter. And it's your policies towards this immigration of this death cult, and not only your tolerance of it, but you're actively bending over backwards. You're down on your knees, giving it everything it wants, and your inability to understand that these people don't think the way that we do. This is your problem. It's your fault, not ours. We don't like it. We don't back it. And if you don't like it, then maybe you should stop doing so much of it. That's basically going to be it.
I know we really don't have the Commonwealth nations anymore of the United Kingdom, but what have you given for Crocodile Dundee to step out and just go, that's not a knife? This isn't. I mean, can you imagine, seriously, in the United States of America, if three guys with knives ran into anywhere, would everybody scramble and run away? I mean,
well, here in Colorado, they get full of holes pretty damn quick.
Britain's policy now is run, hide, and call, something like that. First, run if you can. If you can't run, then hide. If you can't hide, when it's safe after, make a call.
Well, and to their credit, there was a bartender that threw glasses at these guys.
This is my entire point. And I don't mean to take away. I don't mean to take away anything from that guy. God bless him, certainly. But he threw bar stools and beer mugs at a guy and saved a lot of lives.
Yeah.
Is there a bartender in America who doesn't have a shotgun underneath the bar? Someplace is there one?
Well, in Britain, self-defense is practically illegal. If you kill somebody, with a crowbar, so you can't have a gun. If you kill somebody with a crowbar, breaking into your house and threatening your family, you will be put up on charges for defending yourself and your family.
Well, that's right. Thank goodness for gun laws, that prevent horrifying things from happening.
My basic point is this. if you want to live in an England where policemen carry batons instead of automatic weapons, that's fine, and everybody knows it's charming and wonderful. If that's the case, you cannot have these immigration policies. So pick one.
Pick one.
Right? You can either have a civilization where policemen carry, they carry clubs basically, or you can have this kind of an immigration issue, or that's it. Those are your choices, one or the other. Same here. If you want people to be wearing guns and ammoing up and buying weapons and having everybody be armed, then by all means let all the criminals out of prisons. Try to deal with the gun issue and not the crime issue. Allow 60 murders per 100,000 in your cities with your policies, but don't cry about people defending themselves now, because after 50 years of your policies, the world is going to hell.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Did you see Stephen Green's twin, that picture of the people running away from the scene, and there's this one
Holding the
guy
beer
carrying a pint? He was like, hey, the waitress just brought this to my table. I am not leaving this behind.
That is an old school Englishman. God bless you.
That's awesome.
What's the best vodka in the world, Steve?
I like pretty much everything. Scotch,
I know,
vodka,
but if you had to
whatever.
pick one, you had to pick a vodka.
Well, it depends. I like Stoli's got kind of a slick and peppery thing. I like Grey Goose.
That's all I needed to know.
Like a white grape thing.
You just started a new show, Bill.
No, it's just a joke that is it's a joke that's rapidly running out of steam as we go further into it. I was just going to say, if Steve had been there, there's this guy in there, there's people screaming, coming out all covered in blood, and Steve goes running in there. What a brave man! And he's screaming, "Somebody save the Stoli!" So anyway, yeah, there you go. Wasn't worth that game was not worth the candle.
But you asked me about booze. Yeah. I'm gonna go into detail. It's like asking you about flying a plane.
That's a new show.
Oh, boy.
That's a new show.
Speaking of flying a plane, go ahead.
Have you
all right,
been
so what do you
flying?
got, Scotty? No, I haven't
flying?
flown much at all in 4 or 5 months. Plane's got magneto's issues, and I'm going to probably solve that next month.
I don't think you should fly in anything that has a magneto. That sounds like something my great-grandfather had.
As a matter of fact, since you asked, magnetos are extremely primitive technology, and we put them on airplanes because they're bulletproof. I have an electronic ignition system that gets me the power I want, and if that thing fails, I've got this technology from 1920s. As long as the engine's turning, it's making a spark.
Well, yeah, and in fairness, even though we sort of laugh about my grandfather's Model A Ford, a lot of airplanes are still started by cranking them.
They're started by cranking them, and they suffer the same inefficiencies that the old cars used to have. They're hard to start, the carburetors, but they're made out of cast iron, and they almost never fail. Wow. Yeah. With that said, if I could have an electronic ignition like my Camaro engine in my airplane, I'd be happy in a heartbeat, yeah.
How big would that battery have to be to turn that over, though?
Well, I got a big crank.
We're crowdfunding Bill's new Tesla plane.
Thank you very much. That's a subject for another time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the subject that I would like to approach this week is, now in the new utopian better world that we have, as more and more states approve the sale of recreational marijuana, there is, of course, the ever-present taint of racism. Racism by whom, you say? Racism by the government officials who are granting the licenses, because, of course, you dopeheads saw this coming, did you not? You're putting your pleasure in the hands of government. What were you thinking? You were better off when it was illegal. But anyway, so now you have to get, documents and stuff to be able to legally sell pot. And as it turns out, there are some African-American people who cannot get these documents, and it's, of course, because of bloody racism, or because the rules say that if you have a criminal background, you can't have a license to sell dope. So the question is, in this brave new world, is it unfair of us to say, hey, look, if you got busted with a dime bag 5 years ago, or you did time, or you had a, sentencing of any kind, then sorry, you can't run what is now a legitimate entrepreneurial venture?
I think the answer is pretty simple. Can you run a liquor store with a criminal record?
I don't know.
I'm presuming you can.
The mob has been running the liquor business for years.
No, I mean seriously, if I wanted to open a liquor
too.
store, if I was going to open a liquor store, could I do it with a criminal record?
That's a good
know.
question.
Tough to know.
We will endeavor to find this out. Now, you know what this means, though, Bill.
Research?
This means that our show would entail research, which is kind of a new thing.
I don't know,
but
I don't know if that's a path we really want to go down.
After 8 years, I'm not sure
It's a
I'm willing to
slippery
make
slope.
that big a change.
That's right. Things could get ugly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you've done it. You've just wasted another 20 minutes with three of the most distracted men in the universe. But we're glad that you did, and we're grateful for you supporting this effort to be able to get a take on today's news that you're really not getting anywhere else. You can go and search YouTube for somebody who is as brilliant as Bill Whittle, as debonair as Stephen Green, and as loud as Scott Ott. That's a good one. That's there's something. I can take that. I own that. But you're unlikely to find those three, and we are unlikely to find anybody as gracious as you. And so we are grateful for your support at BillWhittle.com that has made this show possible. For Bill Whittle, Stephen Green, I'm Scott Ott. Thanks for participating. Thanks for being one of our producers.